Abraham Reyes is one of the most fascinating figures in Red Dead Redemption 1. Not just because of his role in the Mexican Revolution, but because of how carefully Rockstar built him as a commentary on power, charisma, and the cost of ambition. What makes Reyes so interesting is that he isn't simply a hero or a villain. He's a mirror that reflects the chaos of Mexico during the game and the desperation of people who will follow anyone who promises them change. From the moment John Marston meets him, Reyes presents himself as the revolutionary savior of the people, a man destined to overthrow an oppressive regime. But what the game slowly reveals is that Reyes is less a visionary leader and more a self-absorbed opportunist who uses ideals as tools rather than goals. What's fresh and often overlooked is how Reyes manipulates not just the people around him, but the narrative frame itself. He constantly speaks in grand speeches about liberty, freedom, and the future of Mexico. But if you watch his actions in every mission he gives John, he's rarely actually doing anything revolutionary. Instead, he's relying on Marston to carry out the most dangerous tasks while he hides behind rhetoric and charisma. This becomes especially clear in the missions where he's more focused on impressing women than strategizing or planning. Reyes treats the revolution almost like a stage play in which he's the star, and it doesn't matter who gets hurt behind the scenes as long as the spotlight stays on him. Another angle that doesn't get enough attention is how Reyes' rise foreshadows the tragic cycle of leadership in unstable societies. During the story, he's positioned as the opposite of Colonel Allende, less brutal, more charming, but both men share a hunger for power. The only difference is that Reyes hides his ambition under a layer of charm and idealism, and Rockstar cleverly hints at the future through small character interactions, where soldiers and rebels alike express doubts about him. Even Luisa Fortuna, who sees him as a symbol of hope, ends up becoming one of the many casualties of his self-centered behavior. When she dies, Reyes barely acknowledges her sacrifice, and that coldness reveals who he truly is more than any cutscene or speech. The most important part is what happens after John helps him win the revolution. Reyes becomes president of Mexico, seemingly fulfilling the dream he preached during the rebellion. But nothing suggests the country will actually improve under his rule. In fact, his final lines and body language imply that the revolution simply replaced one flawed leader with another. Players who complete 100% of the game or pay attention to post-campaign dialogue hear rumors that Reyes may already be repeating the same corruption and abuses as his predecessors. It's a subtle critique. Revolutions can change the faces in charge, but not always the systems or behaviors that caused the suffering in the first place. What makes Abraham Reyes so memorable is that he represents the uncomfortable truth that charismatic leaders often survive. Revolutions not because they're just or noble, but because they're skilled at presenting themselves as exactly what people want to believe in. Rockstar didn't write Reyes as a simple antagonist. They wrote him as a warning about idealism without accountability.